Wow, hello everyone, this is EC the Gamer, and we are finally I'm going to be giving you the final thoughts and a bit of a review of Marvel's Spider-Man. This will include the game, the base game, and the DLC of the city that never sleeps, because I finished them all and I pretty much finished everything of the game. So this was supposed to be a long time ago that I was going to, put on the channel, but unfortunately, I mean, anyone who has seen the news knows that there are a lot of hurricanes that have been passing through in these 2 months now, in the past month in September. So where in the island that I live, Puerto Rico, it was pretty much the Hurricane Fiona, and the other now in Florida there's another one that passed. It was Hurricane Ian. So yeah, we've been hit pretty hard. I mean, this past 4 or 5 years has been really bad. From 2017, it has been some devastating situations, from pandemics, hurricanes, earthquakes. In the island where I live, it's been very, very bad. But let's get that out of the way. And yes, finally I'm going to, so sorry if when I do this, my final thoughts here, sorry if there might be something that I don't remember, because it's been a long time since I finished the game. So, but I gotta say, Insomniac, definitely, they have a real winner here with this game, and they're definitely going to continue. Based on what I heard, well, we know they're making a Spider-Man 2, but they also announced that they were making the Wolverine game. So they're getting, maybe this is their new calling, superhero games. But yeah, this game is amazing. It's not perfect, but it is really a really good game. One thing that they got this game that was very important, I believe, to have is that sense of freedom that you would think Spider-Man has when he's, moving around New York and with his web swinging from one building to the other. They definitely got that really well. The game has a fast travel system, but quite frankly, I started using the fast travel system pretty much when I have finished most of the game, because I just love to just go through a building, swinging from one building to the other, solving crimes and that kind of thing. But yes, the story of Spider-Man, it was a good one, but I also felt that it was a bit predictable on some things. But I mean, suffice to say, this game, they truly brought a Spider-Man that I never seen. Most games of Spider-Man, I mean, the ones that have been made, most of them have been from the movies or before the movies, and they always focus on a young Spider-Man, like a new Spider-Man. But there have been some games that focus on a much, not older, but seasoned Spider-Man. And this one was exactly that. This Spider-Man was not new. A lot of the villains, like Wilson Fisk, Doc Ock, was new to him, so he never fought that one. But there were others like the Electro, I believe is the name, the Rhino, Vulture, Negative Man, I think that's what he's called. Silver Sable, but she wasn't a villain per se. Hammerhead. So there's been, like, he has been dealing with a lot of villains even before that. Like, he's not new to all of these villains. He's very experienced. He has his technology already. He's already making his things, his web, his suits. He's doing a lot of things. Like, he's very seasoned Spider-Man, and I mean, still, it doesn't mean that he doesn't make mistakes. He still makes them, but he's definitely much more experienced than other Spider-Man that I've seen. So the version that I was playing was the one on the PS4. So I haven't played the PS5, which I believe they changed the character's model. So one thing that I did like about, that was very interesting about this game was that by the end, again, this review they have spoilers, so sorry about that. I tend to talk about, I mean, this game has already been played by a lot of people for some time now, but Doc Ock actually being the villain truly did surprise me. You know, Norman Osborn, I assume he was going to be the villain, and he is. I mean, he's a bad guy, but he wasn't the main guy, like the guy that you had to fight at the end. No, it was Doc Ock, and Dr. Octopus was definitely, you know, the fights, the bosses in this game, they were not necessarily the best, although the one with Vulture and Electro, that was a really good one. It was very dynamic. The Scorpion and Rhino, that was a good one too. But yeah, I definitely, in terms of the story, it was a good story, you know. I never seen this version of Doc Ock, never seen him being this evil. I mean, the only image that I have of this character is from the Sony movies, you know, the Marvel movies. In that movie, he's not a bad guy. In fact, if I remember correctly, in No Way Home, he's not a bad guy. Like, it's not like the bad guys of like other, like, think about Hammerhead in this game, which is from the DLC. Now that's a bad guy. This Doc Ock, I never seen it like that, and willing to put a virus in the city. I mean, willing for people to let people die just for a grudge. That's the other thing. It was only for a grudge. Like, that's how far he was willing to go. But yeah, story-wise, it's really good. You know, the mechanics. That's where, again, they did a good job of giving us the feeling of being Spider-Man. You know, saving people. The activities were also, overall, they were really good. The one that I didn't like was from the Screwball. I hate that character. I hate it. I didn't like the design of the character. I understand the idea of her being like in social medias and everything, but I just didn't like her. Like, I didn't understand the character. For me, it was just, nah, I didn't like it. But that was pretty much it. You know, the others, I did enjoy every one of them. The Sinister Six, Yuri Watanabe, you know, that's supporting cast. That's another thing that one of the strong things about this game, the supporting cast. That being Yuri Watanabe, that's the police officer. Black Cat, I never heard of Black Cat. I mean, only in one game that was on the PS3. It was like a Spider-Verse, something like a multiverse, a Spider-Man. There was Black Cat there, but that's the only one that I remember. Never seen that character in my whole, everything that I know of Spider-Man. I mean, I don't know a lot of it. I know from the movies. That's it. But they also introduced Miles Morales, which would be the next Spider-Man. Now that one is interesting, and I eventually will play the game that they made of him. I believe he's going to come back in Spider-Man 2, which makes sense. Spider-Man definitely needs help. I don't know if this is going to be like a passing of the torch to him, but for the moment it's both of them. So his version of Spider-Man is different from this one. You know, he has some, I don't know, is his I think he's able to be invisible, have some electric power. It's like some crazy thing he has. So it's going to be really interesting to play that character. MJ, I really enjoy her. I really like the character. JJ Johnson, oh my god, that guy in the radio, that was golden. I always heard him. You can disagree with a lot of things, but then he every now and then he was able to get some good points. Always Spider-Man was to blame. That was really cool about that character because he was always blaming Spider-Man, but even when there were moments that he would give Spider-Man praise, and then he immediately would turn it against him, like, oh, but don't remember, Spider-Man was the one who started it. And in terms of, I was saying the gameplay, you know, it felt really good, but unfortunately there were some hints. I feel the controls could be a bit more better, but it makes sense, you know, this character is very dynamic in his movements, so it makes sense that maybe with the second game they're going to fix some of those problems that I found. It's just some minor things, but they do affect, you know. The gadgets, they were very creative. For the most part, this game I have to give credit, because most games they give you a lot of weapons, a lot of abilities or whatever, and you don't tend to use them. This game, abilities wise, I did not use. I tend to, the way I was fighting, I tend to stick with what I find easy for me. But when it came to the gadgets, I would use them, most of them, like the trick mine. There was the one that you would shoot like this big web that will launch your opponent to, and will immediately get them get them stuck to any walls or whatever. The spider bombs would be like a wide area web gadget. There was one that had to do with gravity. You would throw it, would suspend the enemies above. And that's where the screwball challenges, I think they are a good job though. There was some screwball challenges where they would force you to use a combination. There were combinations that I never even used until the challenges. That's where I learned, oh, you can use it like this. So most of the gadgets I pretty much used, they were really good ones. So the thing that I didn't like was the suit. You know, Spider-Man can shake his outfit, but I don't understand why there's so many. They did have abilities, so that was a good thing. And the other thing is that the abilities were not attached to the outfit, so you acquire the outfit, and that ability you could install it on the suit that you were using, even if it wasn't the original one where that ability was. So that was a good thing. When it comes to changing it, the outfit of the character, I don't care about those things for the most part. So that for me wasn't consequential. But there were some really cool ones. Let's be clear, there were some really cool ones. Pretty much a lot of them were cool. It's just that I don't care about that thing, you know. When it comes to the cosmetics, you know, that kind of things, I don't care about it. But I know a lot of people do like it, so good for them, but that's not my thing. So let's see. Yeah, story-wise was good, gameplay-wise was also good. I like a lot of things that you could do in the game. I pretty much 100% the game, you know. I did pretty much all the activities. I also did like some of the side quests, you know, they were really good. There was a lot of variety in the side quests, in the challenges every now and then. But again, because the game is long, they become repetitive. But pretty much at the end, I feel the enemies I do like, because yeah, you get accustomed to them, but like every now, like for example, the demons, the Sable guys, Even it comes to the Hammerhead guys in the DLC, they have some unique things, new things coming. You cannot defeat them in the same way. There's some that are very specific. There's a specific way to defeat them. So yeah, they did a good job there. Maybe more different versions for the next game, of enemies, but I think it was okay. Story was it was good. It's just I felt that by the end it was predictable. Like I knew, again, I think that's not their fault, because after you've seen so many superhero films, even TV shows, you know where this is going. Yet there were still some shocking moments. And so that is from the part of this main game, Black Cat and all those characters. They were really cool. I would have loved if they would have made a DLC of using Black Cat and Silver Sable, which I love those girls. They definitely did a great job with them. And then let's go a bit more with the DLC. The DLC was divided in 3 chapters. The first one was called Heist, the second Turf War, and the third one was Silver Lining. So the first one has to do with the Black Cat, which is one of my favorite ones, because she was in the main game, but they never gave her, I think they never gave her enough time in the game, so I'm glad that they did it. The second one was Turf War, and that had to do more with Hammerhead and Yuri Watanabe. I mean, Hammerhead is the main villain of those 3 of the City that Never Sleep, but he was in the first one, Heist, but he wasn't like very present in it. It was more a Black Cat, the return of Black Cat, because when the game ended, she just decided to leave the city supposedly. Then she came back. And so the second one had to do with Yuri Watanabe, and she essentially going the dark side, and I was shocked that DLC with it wasn't my favorite. The 3 of them, that wasn't my favorite one, but her part of the story, that was really cool. And then in the third one, Silver Lining, the ending of her, like what was going to be, what her character is going to become in the future. Oh my god, I am loving it. She went to the dark side. I was surprised. I never thought about that. I went and looked on the internet. Yeah, she is one of those, I don't know if villain, but more anti-hero. So yeah, it's going to be cool to see her. Let's see how is going to be her design. And yeah, the third one had to do with Silver Lining, had to do with Silver Sable. She, another character, amazing. Another character that truly surprised me, like even more than Black Cat and Yuri, because she isn't definitely. She had like the civil war in her country, and she seems like very tough, but she actually has a lot of problems. She's a princess. I did not expect that. But yeah, she was also a surprise for me. Overall, they were really the side characters, the supporting characters for Spider-Man. They were really good ones, Yeah, even May, the end of Spider-Man, she was actually good. Martin Lee, he has a sad story, but he did some really bad things. And Daka, even worse. And based on how the game ended, Norman is definitely. I'm talking about the main game now. Norman is definitely. And Harry, maybe they're going to be like the main villains or something like that. We'll see what's going to happen with the second game, what they're going to do there. I know this Venom is involved, and we saw that in the end of the game. But yeah, the City That Never Sleeps is actually a worthy DLC. You know, it's a good story. You know, you wanted a bit more hours to play as Spider-Man. I think that's a great choice. You know, it gives you some, and there each one is different. You know, like each, because it's a DLC that is divided in 3 chapters, and yeah, the 3 DLCs, the 3 chapters are really good. I definitely recommend them. Like, it gives you more Spider-Man, and of those characters that were not given enough time. I think Silver Sable was meant, you know, she was in the game, the main game, but she had time, but not enough for my liking. I would have loved her to be more involved. The same thing with Black Cat, but they gave them their time with those DLCs, so I'm okay with that. Yuri already, she had her time. He was involved in the game, but they gave her more time, so I was okay with that. I didn't care much of Hammerhead, although it was crazy what happened to him. But yeah, maybe I felt he was the weakest of the villains in the whole game, really. But yeah, the DLC were really good. Taskmaster, sorry. I thought I was talking about how Hammerhead was the weakest. I disagree now. Taskmaster. It's weird because I've seen Taskmaster again in Black Widow. I saw her. It wasn't the same Taskmaster they mentioned that I heard a lot in other things, but even in that movie I think it's better than what we have here. It's like, oh, he's giving us some challenges, and when we fight him, it's like, it was so. Silver Sable, she was more difficult for me than the fighting with that guy. That guy was inconsequential. I didn't like it. But yeah, the characters, the world, and that's the cool thing about this. This is an open world, right? But it's the right size. You know, it's not really big, but it's big enough so that you can feel that freedom of being Spider-Man. So I was really good with that. You know, so the DLCs were good. The main game was good. They definitely left a lot of things, you know, like this game you can play it and they could leave it here and essentially it would be okay, but they definitely made things so that, yeah, they're showing you that they're going to make a second game they already left in the main game, and in the DLC they gave you the pieces of what's going to be in the future. Venom, I assume Doc Ock's going to return. Martin Lee, now that I think about it, I think he just disappeared. Like once Doc Ock became like the villain of sorts, I think he disappeared. I don't think they even mentioned it at the end, or if they mentioned, I don't remember. Also another cool thing about this game is that New York actually has some of the things like the Wakanda Embassy, the Stark Tower, or the Avengers Tower. It's really cool. That has some. Oh, the Doctor Strange place, and there are other things that I don't remember now. But there's some really cool that they actually have some buildings that you have seen in the movies, or that they actually exist in the comics. So that's a really cool thing. But now that I see it, is, you know, this game only has Spider-Man and anything that is close to Spider-Man, like his villains, Miles Morales, whatever. But there were no other superhero here. Like, well, a lot of people don't understand that Sony owns Spider-Man, or they have the rights for the moment, so they had them for a long time. And some people ask why Spider-Man is not on Microsoft, on Xbox, you know. Well, because Sony owns like the Rise of Spider-Man. Oh, but that is a Marvel. No, no, it is Marvel, but they own those. They own a specific Spider-Man. Even the movie that they've been making on Disney, it's because they had to ask Sony for, you know, a permission to use Spider-Man in their own movies. But yeah, it is. Now they're using Wolverine, which I don't know if that game's going to be exclusive. It shouldn't be because Wolverine is not from Spider-Man. It's Disney owns it, right? Yeah, and they got Fox. They own X-Men now, so Wolverine. I assume that's going to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Like maybe the game is exclusive at the beginning, but then it's going to be eventually a multi-platform, which would be great for a lot of people. I don't know how they're going to do that game, but hopefully it's going to be much harder because Wolverine doesn't have the same abilities and maneuverability of Spider-Man, so it's going to be harder. But I think that will do. There already been some successful X-Men games, so especially one of Wolverine, so yeah, it can work. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. So let me give. So I'm going to give. Yeah, let me give you three scoring from the main game, the DLC, and then the overall. So the main game. Now with the final scores of the game. So the main game, I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. The story was good, but there were some things that I would have liked a bit better. Some of the mechanics were also the gameplay. With a bit tweaks, they can get better. But it was a really good game. It's not a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. Even like 8.5 is like the one that I'm thinking like a bit of a professional way, and my personal one is the same thing. You know, I would not. It could be an 8.5 for me. I don't see it going as far as 9. I don't see it as 7, 8, and maybe I can see some people give it 9, but for me, I don't see it. That's the main game. So as far for the DLC, I don't know, because I love the first one, the Black Cat, and the third one, but it's not that the third one was even better. It's just like I would put first place. The first one highest, second place would be Silver Lining, and third place would be Turf War. But I don't know how to score it overall in that game, in that DLC. The Slither Never Sleep, then I think I will give it like an 8 out of 10. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. And then overall, quite frankly, I'll give it an 8.52 out of 10. So I gave 8.5 to the main game, 8 to the DLC, and 8.5 overall, you know, the game and the DLC. So it's like, I don't think that the DLC makes the whole package even better. Like I don't see it even as a 9, because it just gives you more of those characters that I felt that they should already have more time in the game itself. So yeah, I'm not going to. So 8.5 overall is 8.5 out of 10. But it's a really good game. It's a really good game. I was definitely surprised. I was glad that I played it. The Miles Morales will be eventually. I will play it, not now, but I will. But that's it. I don't want to make the video long. Again, these are like my final thoughts, a bit of a review. I don't tend to. I mean, by the time that this final thoughts I put, then it has been years now since the Spider-Man game has been out, so it's already been out on the PlayStation 4, PS5, in PC recently, so yeah. They already making a second game like Miles Morales, so but overall, yes, it's a really good game. Definitely recommend it. Spider-Man is back. You know, it's been a long time since there's been a Spider-Man game. Damn, it's been since what? That's Spider-Man 3. Most games before were pretty much based on movies. So yeah, there's not been a lot of them. This is the first modern Spider-Man game that there's been, I think. So they succeeded. I'll give them that. Insomnia, another win for them, you know. I never played the Ratchet and Clank games. I don't know why, it's just I've been so accustomed to Jak and Daxter. I will eventually play the Ratchet and Clank games. I played the Resistance game, amazing. I don't know why they don't make more of them. I was pissed when they just made 3 games and that's it. The same thing with Guerrilla with Killzone. And Jak and Daxter saying like, come on, keep making those games. If you're not willing to make them, let someone else make them. You know. That's like Cooper. A lot of people recently they were angry because the 20th anniversary they didn't mention, like I think they assumed they were going to make a game, but what are they going to do? You know, the only ones who can make that. I mean, you would think Sucker Punch is going to make it, but they're making Ghost of Tsushima, I assume, right? So, I mean, and there was a really good game. The 4th game, it wasn't perfect, but it was a good start, and clearly they didn't make enough money, and people criticize the game, and that's it, you know. But then now people are angry or sad that there's not another game. But well, what can you do? If the main developers are not going to make it, well, and they're not willing to give it to someone else, well, the game is stuck. But we'll see. Already a good start with Spider-Man. We'll see with the second game. I have to assume it's going to be good, but is it going to be better than this one? That's can he actually get to that 9 or even 10? I think it's possible, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all for now. I didn't talk about Winston Fisk because he was there. He wasn't like a main villain. So yeah. Good game. And now it's the waiting period now, waiting for the second game and Spider-Man 2 and even Wolverine. We'll see how that goes too. So that's all, guys. As always, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to hit that subscription button. Also hit the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. So yeah, that is all for the moment. This is Easy the Gamer signing off, and I will see you on the next video, which I think it's going to keep being 13 Sentinels. I still need to do the Nier Automata review, but I still need to finish some things there, so I'm not going to do it just yet. But yeah, I will see you on the next video.